This is the Adios Pro 2. And while I love running in this shoe, I'm not sure that it's a shoe that I would pick for my most important races. It's time to go for a run and talk about the Adios Pro 2 after 100 miles. Today's workout was a threshold repeats day, 5 times 7 minutes and 12 seconds at threshold pace with 1 minute 12 second recoveries for a 6-to-1 work to rest ratio and a total of 36 minutes at threshold and an overall total run of 12.77 miles. A perfect way to get the Adios Pro 2 to the 100-mile mark. Now, before I give my thoughts on this shoe after 100 miles, I do want to go over some disclosures. This is a pair of shoes that I purchased myself. No one sent it to me. No one's paid me to make this video, and no one's going to get a chance to preview any of my footage or my thoughts before you guys get a chance to see this video on YouTube. So, with that disclosure out of the way, let's talk about the Adios Pro 2 after 100 miles. First, let's talk about how I've been using this shoe. I've primarily been using this shoe just like I used it today. I've been using it as my go-to workout shoe for those threshold workouts, mile repeats between 10K and half marathon effort. Like, that's where I feel like this shoe has been really fun and very useful. And I think that the way that this shoe is set up makes it ideally suited for that kind of workout. You've got Light Strike Pro, you got 39.5 millimeters of it in the heel with a 10 millimeter drop, giving you 29.5 millimeters of that in the forefoot. And you've got these energy rods, which is Adidas's answer to the carbon fiber plate. And what that ultimately ends up with that Light Strike Pro is a foam that does a great job of cushioning impact, then absorbing the weight and impact of the runner, compressing those energy rods, and then decompressing the foam and those energy rods at the same time to give you a really powerful pop every time you take off for your next stride. It's a sensation that I absolutely have enjoyed. It's set up like a super shoe, it's marketed like a super shoe, and it definitely performs like a super shoe. I feel the energy rods. It's a very strong push-off sensation that I'm getting, and I'm also feeling all of that stack height of that Light Strike Pro foam, which I think has a really nice kind of like compression curve. I don't know what the right word for it is, but like the timing of when your foot hits the ground, how much and how quickly it compresses. Does it like smush down like if you had like stepped onto a pillow, or does it like take a little bit of time for it to really compress and kind of control your landing a little bit? I feel like the sensation is just right for that marathon effort and that half marathon effort. Now, some of the areas where I don't think it works quite as well, although it's still pretty excellent at those things too, is like if you get to like 5K effort or faster, if you're doing like 5K pace repeats or mile pace repeats, then I feel like the extra stack height kind of starts to get in your way, and then like the compression curve, like how quickly it compresses and rebounds, just doesn't quite feel snappy enough. I mean, I'm really splitting hairs here. It still does really fantastic compared to like a standard shoe that maybe doesn't have either like a carbon fiber plate in it or energy rods in it. But I just feel like it's starting to get out of its wheelhouse once you get to some of those faster paces. And then of course, once you start getting a lot slower, like at your easy day pace, then a shoe like this just doesn't really love to be run at those easy paces. It certainly can, but similarly how like you could have a sports car that would be great on the racetrack, but maybe not so good if you're using it to commute to work or go to the grocery store. Maybe not the best suited tool for that kind of job. Now let's talk about how the shoe has changed for me over time. So from taking it right out of the box and doing a workout to this last workout now, I do think that the foam has changed quite a bit, and I feel like it's a lot squishier than it was right out of the box. I feel like initially there was a lot more pop to it. I don't feel like I was compressing everything quite as much. I felt like I was kind of like still staying on top of the foam quite a bit and not sinking into it. So on these workouts, I am starting to feel like the shoe certainly by no means is sluggish, just doesn't quite feel as peppy as it did when I first got it out of the box. And one of the things that I've noticed is that looking on the outsole, it's got that Continental rubber on the outsole. It's holding up fantastically well. It's amazing that there isn't more wear showing on the rubber on the outsole. But I think what is happening is that the foam is compressing rather than the rubber wearing down. And I think that that's really the wear that I'm experiencing, is that this foam isn't quite as resilient as it was when it was fresh. And at 100 miles in, for a super shoe, that's not a terrible thing, but also think that super shoes have come a long way in a very short amount of time. So to feel this kind of like depreciation in the ability for the shoe to perform, I think is a little bit surprising. But in and of itself, I don't think that's the main reason why I haven't been reaching for this shoe when I've been racing. I was going to use this to run CAM last December, but as I got towards the end of that marathon training block, I went for a longer run in the Adios Pro 2, and I started to feel a pain in my right foot, right under the pads of the foot. This is the left shoe, but it was kind of like right here where I was feeling the pain. And on this workout today, I'm getting ready for the LA marathon, about 2.5 weeks out from that marathon now. On this workout, I felt the same pain in the same spot again. And so I think that what happens with me is as I get deep into a marathon training block, my feet start to get beat up. And when I'm running in the Adios Pro 2, something is happening where I'm feeling something in the bottom part of that right foot. Now, I don't know. I don't think that I'm bottoming out. I don't think that the rods are like poking up at me in any way, but I do think that, you know, there's something about it that I'm feeling in there, and that's, I think, what is causing the discomfort. So because of that, I'm not sure that I would reach for these, at least at this point in their life cycle, for an A race of mine that I was lining up for. I would probably reach for something else that I think could avoid some of those foot pain issues. Now, on the other hand, it might just be me, and I might be blaming a shoe for something that's going on with my unique and idiosyncratic and definitely not perfect foot strike that's going on, but it seems to be exacerbated the most right now of the shoes in my rotation when I'm running in the Adios Pro 2. So I don't think that's going to be a problem and a deal breaker for most of you guys, but I'm letting you guys know why I wouldn't be reaching for it and what's going on with me. It's now happened in 2 consecutive marathon training blocks. So that tells me that this is a great training companion shoe for me in terms of like my own biology and anatomy, but I'm not sure that I'm going to reach for it for races. I still think that this shoe has plenty of life as a training companion, running those threshold repeats, running long runs with some marathon effort in it, and I think it would treat most people really well without a single issue at all. But just wanted to let you know where I'm at on this shoe at the 100-mile mark. So those are my thoughts on the Adios Pro 2 after 100 miles. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, or better yet, stop by the live stream that I do Monday through Friday right here on YouTube, but I do it on my Kofuzi Run Club channel. I'll post a link to that in the description. I'd love to see you there and talk to you guys about this shoe or any other running shoes that you may want to talk about. That's all I have for today, everybody. Thanks so much for making it all the way to the end of the video. Hopefully you guys are staying safe out there on your runs, and I will see you in the next one.
Yo, what's going on?